Can't find the jigsaw, so I'm gonna use basically an old wore out metal reciprocating saw blade just to tighten this up. That'll work.
It's been a while since we've done any siding. Usually when we transition from one part of the job to another, it takes a little while for us to catch our groove. And this time was no different.
Man, that really stinks. Can you give me this? Can you give me that red pry bar that's inside the house?
If you take something like this on, you're going to make some mistakes. I don't care if you're a professional, you're still going to make some big mistakes. But if you've never done anything like this before, you can count on it. Those mistakes are coming. I got to give Jafana credit. She didn't get upset with me at all. I hope she wasn't expecting it.
Sorry about that.
Well, we've had a lot of activity the last month trying to get moved from the farm up to a new place that we're renting. And we're really happy to be back on the build. We were up here last weekend, but we didn't get much done. We were just kind of toying around with trying to get the siding started again. Because of the change in timeline now, we have a year-long lease. We're gonna approach things just a little bit differently time-wise. We can't really take our foot off the throttle, or we'll definitely end up missing the mark. We won't get everything finished. But since winter is on the way, and we have an opportunity of some good days here, we're gonna try to get as much of the siding done as possible. So today we're hitting the siding, trying to get as much of the front done as we can. If I can get from the door over to the wall, it's not gonna be all the way to the top, but that first layer about 8-9 feet high, if I can get that done, I'm gonna call that a win.
Yeah, we had several people comment on why don't you finish wrapping the house, and we definitely wanted to do that, but we were on a different timeline, and now we gotta switch gears.
There's two of us. I mean, people say, oh, it only takes such, you know, 5. We looked at a video the other day of a lady having a SIPS house built, and it took 5 days from start to finish. It was post and beam with SIPS.
But she had an army.
Yeah, they had an army of about 20 people, and those people do this for a living every single day. We don't. So in 5 days, they had the shell finished with the roof and the windows. That would be great. And if anybody, you know, if we had an army, if I had the money to hire an army of people, we'd be done by now. So we're gonna jump on this, see what we can get accomplished, and cross our fingers that we at least make it to one of the walls.
Yep, here we go.
Now, when I mentioned the woman having her house built in 5 days, I don't want to sound like I'm too envious. Well, I might be just a little bit envious. Let me see if I can put this in perspective. I've owned and driven Jeeps for more than 20 years. And as long as I can remember, the built versus bought argument has never cooled down. Everyone thinks that their way is the right way. And the truth is that some people like to turn wrenches and some don't. And some people like to build houses and some don't. Overall, I have found this experience to be immensely satisfying. But there are days, lots of days, where I would happily turn the key, walk right into a fully finished house, and never look back. We have a lot of reasons for building this house ourselves,
This is the piece we've cut.
and boredom or a sense of superiority has never been one of them.
That little piece out on the other side.
Well, look at it and you'll see.
Okay. Yeah, I'm hoping. Because that looks really fat.
Really fat?
Yeah, it's long. This way.
Goes over there. On that side.
That's just so obvious because you've cut things wrong so many times.
In my whole life, I've never cut anything wrong. That goes right up there.
Uh-huh.
Right there.
It's not obvious.
It's so obvious.
No, sorry, it's not obvious.
Well, let's find out if I got it right.
Let's find out.
So Jafana is painting the edges on this. You're supposed to paint all of the cut edges.
Supposed to paint them?
That's what they say. Paint them, which seals.
Where'd you get the instructions about painting the edges?
So every building material that you find out there is going to have some kind of an instruction sheet that goes with it, some little
Right.
manual. Sometimes just a page or two, and sometimes it's 5 or 6 pages.
Okay.
So you go online and you read it, and it tells you how to cut it. It tells you, safety issues, material handling safety, which is one of the things is the dust that this creates is dangerous. And it also tells you, as far as installation goes, what kind of nails to use, what kind of substrate to put it on, what kind of clearance you need to have, and in order to install it properly, that you need to paint all the cut edges.
That's where you got it.
Yep. Hey. Looks like we got a visitor. My old landlord showed up, so I'm gonna go visit for a minute. Yeah. So, I made a mistake cutting this piece up here, and I got to take it down. And when this is all done, it's going to be trimmed out with battens, and it's a 16-inch board and batten here. Well, I've got the right increment at the top, but I cut the whole thing off at the bottom. I was only supposed to cut out the part where the window. So I've got to take the whole thing off again and cut a whole new piece. And that stinks. That's the only way it's going to look right. I hate it. I had to fix it. I couldn't just leave it. And tearing it out, unfortunately, pulled a bunch of holes. As the nails come out, I've got a bunch of holes in my Tyvek and in the flashing. So I went back through and I repaired those holes in the Tyvek and the flashing. And now I'm going to put another piece up. I'm actually going to put a piece that goes over here between these two windows, but we'll be coming back to this spot here. It stinks. It's an expensive mistake, but if you fix it, then it's fixed and you can just move on. I'm taking another crack at this first piece, and if I can pull this off and get it nailed up today, at least the day won't be a total waste. But it's a bit of a waste. We went a little bit bigger on this one than we did the last one, a little foot wider. Well, that didn't go exactly as I had planned. I had hoped we'd have this lower section done all the way over to the wall. Doesn't always turn out the way you want it to, but those two pieces look pretty good. We'll come back tomorrow and this weekend, see if we can't do a little bit better. I've got about an hour of daylight left here. I think I'm gonna grab my rifle and go see if I can't put something in the freezer. Y'all come back and check us out again at Breakheart Orchard. We'll be here.
Having my friend John stop by reminded me that I have some drone footage that I shot on the last day that we were at the old farm that we just moved from. John was my landlord. He grew up on that farm. We came here moving over 100 miles from the suburbs. The plan was that we would only stay for about a year. Well, that stretched into 2 and then over 3. It was a great place to live. And the video really doesn't fit into the story of what we're doing right now with the siding, but I think it's pretty, and I figured I'd throw it in at the end just to share it. We'll see y'all next time. We gotta do this before the stupid thing falls apart again.
Okay.